All right, guys, we got a good show for you today. We have Daniel Smith. He is quarterback at Villanova. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
So I have to talk about it. It was all over TikTok world. It was all over ESPN. You had one of the most craziest plays I've ever seen. I actually did one of those in like NCAA 2012 or whatever. That was one of those type of plays. Talk about that. What like going on? What happened?
Yeah, you know, everyone keeps asking me, did you mean to throw it or was it an accident? Did you fumble it? No, I meant to throw it just to clear the record. Why? I'm still not really sure, but I'm glad it worked out. I was rolling to my right off of a boot action, and the Mike linebacker shot out like a bullet at me and gained a lot of ground on me. And as he tripped me up and I was going down, I didn't want to take the sack, so I kind of just flipped it over my shoulder. And I was just really, really thankful Charlie was there to go make a play and get his first touchdown.
Yeah, so when that play like happened, right? Afterward, did anything like change on campus? Were people like looking at you differently? Like, yeah, I know who that guy is now. Or do you notice anything?
I haven't noticed anything. I mean, my friends give me a hard time about it because they're like, I don't know why you did that, but hey, I guess it worked. But no, it's kind of stayed the same for me. It's kind of cool though, just being able to walk around and not be too popular on campus right now.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like growing up as like a kid, like, I was watching the ESPN top plays, and all that stuff. I don't know if
Yeah.
you did the same thing or not.
I every day before school, like 7:50 or something, before I head out the door, I would try to catch the top 10 on SportsCenter every morning.
Yeah. So like how was your mind like blown when you were number one on that?
I mean, my mind was blown when I was sitting at dinner with my parents after the game, and I got an ESPN notification about myself.
Really?
It was just kind of like, wow, is this the world we're living in right now?
Yeah.
It was a cool experience. Obviously, it was one that I'm very thankful to have had happen to me. But now it's like it's cool, but it's time to focus for the fall now.
Yeah, which is what I was just transitioning into. So I was interested in like your career because you went to Campbell for a couple years. Talk about
Hmm.
like, your time there and what you think you learned most from that experience.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great experience there. For starters, I got to get really meaningful playing time from a young age. I started as a redshirt freshman come game 4, I want to say it was. And then basically the rest of my time there. I mean, we had some really good coaches at Campbell. David Marsh, who was my OC there, he's at Texas Southern now. He was in the Marines, so he taught me a lot of really good life lessons and lessons on leadership, kind of what they teach in the Marines. And that was probably one of my biggest takeaways from there.
Yeah. So when you were thinking about leaving, what made that decision for you and why Villanova of all the schools?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of had this gut feeling, like it almost felt like God was pushing me to reconsider my entire situation. I obviously wanted to play a little bit higher level of football. I was hoping FBS, but then I kind of got into the portal a little later on in the year, early summer,
Yeah.
and one of the schools that I ended up talking to was Villanova. And as soon as I started talking to them, as soon as I got on campus and I met some of the guys, it felt like the right place to be. It felt like the perfect place in terms of the mix between academic and athletic, and it ended up being in a really good situation when I didn't know if I was going to be having anything out there
Yeah.
once I left Campbell.
Yeah. Coming into like Villanova, you were starter at Campbell. When you went there, did they like tell you, hey, you're gonna be our starter? Or were you going in knowing you had like a job to win? What do you
No, when I came in, they already had 2 guys there who'd been battling in the spring for the starting job, Kadir Ismail and Jack Shetlick. And when I came in, I was basically told, "Hey, you're gonna get thrown into the battle," but I had to still go in and win the job.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it worked out, and I'm thankful that it did. But I think I was more excited that I had to go in and win the job than the fact that it was given to me, because to me that meant, hey, like the best players are going to play regardless of where you're from, what you've done. Like you get to perform like here and now.
Yeah, when I was doing some like research on this, it was funny on your page. And when it said you transferred, the only thing it says on the line, it says he will battle for playing time. That's what it says on your
Yeah.
line. And it was
Yeah, I
like,
remember. I remember seeing that. That was. I remember seeing that and talking to my parents about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds about right."
yeah. So you had the season, with COVID, as it in spring, you got a shortened season. Had a couple games end up getting like canceled, which sucks for everyone involved. You guys went 2-2. You had a couple close losses. Rhode Island overtime. Delaware was by one score. Talk about how you felt the season went as a whole, and how you were like managing everything with COVID and everything.
The biggest theme I think through all of COVID so far has been obstacles and adversity. And we've seen a ton of it over this past year and a half now, and for us, it was no different. We came into the spring, we didn't really get the full off-season workouts that we normally get. We were meeting on Zoom rather than in person. It was just little things like that kind of threw off the whole feeling of the season. But we still attacked it. We went 2-2, which is not what we wanted. Obviously, we wanted to go and
Yeah.
go 6-0 before we lost those two games to the COVID cases. But it was a good learning experience. We got a lot of young guys some playing time, and hopefully we can take that experience and some of the pain from some of the losses and carry that over to the summer and use that as extra motivation to go a little bit harder.
Yeah. Did you? I was talking to one of the guys at Portland State, Davis Alexander. He was talking about how
Mm-hmm.
right now during this time for you guys, it's really struggle of getting that consistency. Did you feel that when you were playing? Because you never like you're gonna get canceled games all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, none of the games that were canceled were due to cases within our program. We did a fantastic job as a team, staying COVID free and doing the right things. But yeah, even the schedule from day to day, when we found out that we weren't going to be playing against UNH, we basically turned our focus to Maine, but we had another bye week, so we had to kind of on the fly figure out what the schedule was going to be, when we were going to be able to practice, when we are going to be able to lift.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest challenge was, the schedule changed a lot throughout the season.
Yeah. So you talked about the season. What's your like goal, or what do you think about your senior? Are you gonna take advantage of that the red shirt rule, or are you gonna try to go play pro, or what's going on for you?
So I will be back in the fall for my last year of eligibility, hopefully this time.
Mhm.
Um, and then after the fall, I will have graduated from grad school here at Villanova,
Yeah.
and I will see what see what's in store for me
Yeah.
out there.
All right. Final couple questions before a game. What are you listening to pre-game?
I have a whole playlist. It's all basically like rock country, but
Yeah.
it always finishes with "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins.
That's funny. I'm a big country guy, so I respect that. Um, when you were growing up as a kid, was there any like quarterback or any specific player you looked up to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a kid, you watch all sports. Especially, I had a brother who was a little bit older than me, 10 years to be exact. So not a little bit, but
Yeah.
he played baseball and basketball throughout high school. He actually played baseball in college. So like in terms of like as athletics and like basketball and baseball, at least, I looked up to him. I liked watching him play, and he loved watching sports too. So obviously, I would end up watching professional sports either with him or now. I mean, I do on my own, but kind of came from my parents and my family upbringing. But even back then, like I loved Santana Moss. I loved Sean Taylor, even though I was like 5. But as I've gotten older and I watch quarterbacks, I love watching Russell Wilson play. I love Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is probably my favorite quarterback to ever play, just because he's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady's annoying to watch, but he's so freaking good.
Yeah. It's amazing.
There's a lot of guys that you can watch and you can take things from. But I think in terms of like being a gamer or just being a dude, like the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, those are the guys that I like to look up to and kind of study a little bit.
Yeah, I've always been a big Rodgers myself. I got my cheese head back there actually. Oh,
Yeah, my roommate freshman year was a Packers fan, so we at Campbell we watched the Cowboys Packers game, and that's still probably my favorite Rodgers throw to this day. that throw on the sideline
Yeah.
that he had to set up the field goal. That
Yeah.
was just so unreal.
And we beat the Cowboys. That was what the better part of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was the best part about it.
Yeah. The final question is: how do you want people to remember yourself when your football career is over?
Oh, that's tough.
We always finish with this one. It's always a tough one.
I'm hoping that I'm remembered for obviously my play on the field, but I also hope that I leave an impact everywhere that I've been. Like I hope like I set a precedent for like what being a Division I college football player, Division I student athlete, whatever you want to say. Like, I hope I can set an example for kids who want to be in that position one day, and they can, see the things that I do and try to follow. But I mean, other than that, like in terms of life, I just want to kind of just be a good person and leave a positive impact on the world and leave it a better place than I came into it.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, I appreciate you coming on. Actually, we might see each other next year. I don't know. The schedule came out, but I go to Lafayette next year for tennis, but sometimes we play each other and football.
Nah, we don't play Lafayette next year, but we'll be at Lehigh. I forget if Lehigh's here or there, but I know that's not too far.
No, it's like 20 minutes away.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So if anything, just hit me up and let me know, and we could definitely link up or something.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We're playing a tournament in Villanova Labor Day weekends for tennis.
I'll probably be here.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. This means a lot.
yeah, thanks for having me, man.